another day, another legacy sequel. This time, everyone's favourite 90s home brand slasher film, I Know What You Did Last Summer. The awkward, less cool cousin to Scream. Hey guys, I'm Jax, and this is my spoiler-free and spoiler review for the new 2025 I Know What You Did Last Summer. Wow. This film is insane. This film is wild. This film somehow does so much, whilst also kinda doing nothing. It gives us exactly the same film as the 90s film. We all know the drill at this point. It's a legacy sequel. Same plot, same beats, same fisherman creeping about with his hook, but all the old cast that survived the original film are here. Are they here as much as you'd want them to be? No. Of course they're not. Just in case you're not aware of the basic premise of this franchise, a bunch of mates accidentally kill a guy on the road whilst partying, and then they cover up the crime, only for someone to send them a note a year later saying, I know what you guys did last summer, not cool. Then a man dressed as a fisherman with a hook does a big slasher film and chases them all around and kills most of them. You know, a pretty standard slasher affair. So of course at first we do get that film, to a less effective extent, of course, but it is still fun enough for what it is, particularly in the first half. And it does exactly what you'd expect with its legacy characters. They appear, quote some lines from the first film, and aren't in it as much as you'd want them to be. But also, it then takes some crazy swings in the third act that feel so insanely unearned and tonally all over the place. They are thematically misguided and ill-conceived and executed. But regardless of all those negatives, it does take those swings. I deeply respect a film for just going for it, going for a big swing. A boring, dull film that takes no risks is, well, boring. But a film that takes a big swing, even if it misses and it strikes out, it at least is interesting, and I really deeply respect the film for taking a big swing. It is crazy to me that so much of this film is so generic, cliche, and formulaic, and exactly the legacy sequel you think it'd be, but then it not only jumps the shark, but it also hooks the shark in the mouth and rides it. Final thoughts on non-spoilers before we dive into that controversial and insane end. The film is a light, funny, kinda dumb slasher that is a good time to watch with your mates and have a few beers. Or a lot of beers, and laugh with the film and at the film. The characters are very silly and complete caricatures. The dialogue is awful, but I think maybe intentionally. I'm pretty sure it's intentional. And if not, it's still very funny regardless. And the kills are fun enough, if not kind of tame for modern gore standards. I would say that this is a pretty fun watch with your mates, but wait 3 weeks till it's on streaming, so you can watch with your mates in the comfort of your own home. Okay, now to the juicy juice of the review, spoilers. Spoilers, 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 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So the twist at the end of the film is that on top of the new cast member who's the killer and they're revealed and all that stuff, it's then later revealed that helping our new fisherman is Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah, that's right. Ray from the original OG 2 films is suddenly, for no real logical reason, now a psycho killer. But this is not fun and cool like the Talking Heads song. This is dumb. Very dumb. It comes across as a lazy afterthought. There's zero groundwork done in the film to actually set up this twist, apart from like a really weak and obvious line about how grief changes people. That could work as like a basis for the choice to do this, but without literally anything else, it's just like not enough for such a massive twist. Look, I'm no I Know What You Did Last Summer purist. I don't care at all that they've changed his entire character and personality to now be the monster. But the big issue is that the film doesn't explain it or justify it, so it just feels really disingenuous, and it feels like this massive cheap gimmick just for shock and awe. And sure, I guess it's shocking if it wasn't so painfully obvious from like the 15-minute mark of the film, which I'll get to, which is its own separate massive issue with the film. There's no reason for this legacy sequel to be made other than the usual IP money reasons, so for the film to so lazily do this shock twist, it just reeks of cynicism. and not of like a writer having a genuine idea to expand the story and the lore of this universe. Ray was never a character that had like this dark part of him where you're kind of like, oh wow, that's really interesting. Like they mildly set some of these things up and it's really cool to see it fleshed out and expanded in this film. No, he was just like a classical hero character of a 90s slasher film, and they've just randomly gone, I don't know, we gotta have like a big shock twist gimmick to get people to watch this stupid nothing film. I don't know, make him a killer? Should we explain it? No, that would involve writing and effort. Now sure, there's a bit of a half-assed attempt at a red herring in the OG film that he's the killer, but nothing about his character ever indicated he had this dark side to him. So you have to put that in the script, but they don't. Sure, he does some ugly, awful monologuing at the end about why he's now the killer, but it's just absolutely not good enough, and it doesn't track with the film we've been watching up until this point. There's a couple of very surface level things they attempt to make his reason, but I don't think it's enough, and I just think that since it's so obvious he's the killer, or at least one of the killers, from like the 15-20 minute mark, maybe spend like your 2-hour runtime actually setting up this change in his character and like build it up so when the twist happens you're shocked, but you're also like, yeah, you put it in the film rather than it just being an out of nowhere just for shock's value gimmick. I think the twist, if done correctly, could have worked, but yeah, in this iteration of the script it does not. Also, it's like really obvious he's the killer from like way too early on, but then they like don't use this fact to build up the moment. So it's obvious, but also it's so random and out of nowhere. It's really frustrating and weird. There's like a true crime podcaster who knows all the OG cast and literally sees the killer as they die, and like her reaction is like, oh my god, it's you! And so it's like so obvious that it has to be Freddy, because you're never making Jennifer Love Hewitt the killer, and this true crime podcaster's reaction would make no sense if it's anybody else. So it's very obvious it's him, but then the film doesn't like address that they've revealed who it is. It's very strange. I don't know. I honestly think this film is fun enough in a light breezy slasher kind of way, but this twist ending really kind of ruins the whole film. It's so baffling as it completely shits on OG fans by randomly, for no reason, making the hero a psycho, but also completely shits on new fans by doing it badly. It's an insult to all audiences, which I suppose is fun because we can all come together in our disbelief for this stupid twist. But yeah, I don't know, I am curious. Maybe this is just me who dislikes this. I am very curious to see online what people think, and I'd love to know, does this twist work for you? Big yays, big nays, or for the first time on the internet, a nuanced opinion. I'd love to know what everyone thought about the movie and this twist. Leave a comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the YouTubey thingies. What did you think of I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025?